Morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and I'll just invite you to stretch back on your back. And we're going to have a shorter class today that's going to get us going in the morning, or it could get us to sleep potentially in the evening. And we're going to just breathe through our nose, inhaling and exhaling, and feel that sensation of release and surrender. And that's a difficult thing to manifest. So it's useful to just focus on your breath and just experience the inhalation and the exhalation. Inhalation and the exhalation. We're going to just explore briefly the notion of Drsya, which is the changeableness of nature, the transitoriness of things. And this is from a Issa. Listen, all creeping things, the bell of transience. And Drsya literally means what is seeable. It's what the seer witnesses, the cosmic processes, all matter and energy that encompass the changing manifest world. Synonyms for Drsya are prakriti, meaning nature, and maya, meaning the measurable or illusion. And in yogic philosophy, the natural world, the material manifest world, is considered to be feminine. And other English words related to this are matter and matrix, each describing different characteristics of the observable universe. So we'll just keep that just in the back of our mind somewhere, just that sense of affirming the transitoriness of life and the interconnected web of all living things. All right, so now that you are on your back and you are breathing and you're connecting with your breath, you can just draw your knees into your chest and just cuddle yourself a little and maybe roll a little bit back and forth just to release your back a bit, massage your sacrum, and get ready for your class. Let's just stretch our legs up in the air and feel the benefits of an inversion, which is just the ability to be upside down in one form or another. Some of you may do headstands and handstands. I have a poor neck, so I do inversions differently. And or you could do a shoulder stand here, but even putting your feet above your heart, just like this, is a good thing. All right, so we're on the ground. We have our feet above our there we go. And you can rotate your ankles here and rotate them the other way around. And then you can just spread your legs out, just allowing gravity to do a little bit of opening here in your groin. And you could draw your feet together, and then put your feet together and draw your knees out so that you're in a seated pose, but on your back. And you could spread your arms out and just feel the, here you'll feel your legs are actually, and your feet are over top of your pelvis. So you can feel the base of your spine on the floor. Good. Now let's lift your feet up one more time, and we'll just do a brief twist here. Put your feet flat on the ground and shift your weight over to the left, and drop your knees to the right. And you can put your hand on top of that upper thigh and look towards the opposite hand. So we may return to this when we're doing our relaxation at the end, and you'll see how your body has changed over the course of a few movements in class. All right, now lift your legs up and find your center again, and then shift your hips to the opposite direction, drop your knees, and you can rest your hand on that upper thigh and look towards the opposite arm. And you might feel that your shoulder's up around your ear, so you could draw it down and just allow gravity itself to bring it to the floor. Oops. Oops. It's a very jaunty alarm here. Here we go. All right. Good. So and let's lift those legs up again, and you can clasp your shins and roll a little bit back and forth, and then you can move to your side and come up. All right, so let's go onto our hands and knees, and we'll do some cat and cow and some movements in our legs, and with our legs and our hand and our arms. So we're pressing into the palms of our hands and into our knees and into our shins, and we're feeling that our spine, my spine is quite stiff in the morning. I'm doing this quite early in the morning. So I'm just going to drop my chest down and feel as though I'm moving my chest through my open arms. And now I'm going to draw my navel up. And I'm going to, once again, go into what's known as cow. And then cat. I'm exhaling in cat. And I'm inhaling in cow with my chest open. And I'm exhaling. And I'm inhaling. And I'm exhaling. And I'm inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Now let's lift our right arm up, and then thread it through, and we'll just drop that shoulder down, and we can rest on the side of our head and lift the opposite arm up and put it either at the back of the head, either on the sacrum, or you can thread that to your waist and feel aligned. And in this position, you can open your shoulder up quite easily and get a deeper stretch here. As we breathe into that side body,
And let's put that hand down and then lift it up one more time and put that hand down. We'll try the other side, lifting the arm up, threading it through, and feeling that shoulder descend to the mat. And we'll lift the opposite hand up, the back of the hand, either to the sacrum, or you can move it further around to your waist and bind. And here you can lift this shoulder up. So this is a very good shoulder opening, especially if you sit at a desk or are hunched over a computer all day. Or if you just hold a lot of stress in your shoulder. And let's put that hand down and find our way once again to our tabletop. And here we're going to just extend the right leg out, pointing the toe, and drawing it all the way around behind us, and following the toe, the foot, with our eyes, so that we are doing a little bit of a neck exercise here too as well. So we can keep it on the floor here through the whole of this movement, or you can lift it up on the side and draw it up in the air around as you go around here. Breathing all the time. Good, and now let's put that leg down. We'll do the other side, just stretching our toe out to the side and drawing it around. And back again. Good, and now let's just lift that leg up and move it around a few times in the air. This demands strength and balance. And last time. Good, all right. And bring those knees in, and we're going to go back into a child's pose, stretching our hands out in front of us and feeling the hands moving in one direction while our hips are moving back. And now we're going to go over to the right. And then over to the left. And here, when we're moving to the left, you'll feel that your right hand is moving up and your right hip is moving back. So you're really developing an elongation of that side body. And once again, you're opening that shoulder up. And we'll go back again and do the same thing on the other side. Stretching out that left hand and the left hip in the opposite direction. Good. All right, so let's come back up, and we're going to do a toe squat just to get our toes ready for the day. And if we did this every day, our toes would be in magnificent form. So you do you, and do what makes you feel okay. If you have a strap nearby, I'm actually going to get my strap. It will divert your attention. So I find this quite a useful complement to the toe squat, as it opens the shoulder and diverts your attention. So I'm just turning my toes under here, and I'm sitting up on my toes, and I'm using my strap, stretching it out, and then moving my arms behind me and then in front of me. And you'll find the appropriate length of the strap to do this. The shorter it is, the more demanding it is in terms of your shoulders opening. But you do you. And as we're doing this, we're breathing and feeling that we can come out of this whenever we like, but staying in the discomfort is not such a bad thing, and it does help open our stretch our toes out, helps with our balance, helps us keep from falling. Always a good thing, especially if you're over 65. It can be lethal to fall. All kinds of terrible things can happen to you afterwards. All right, here we go. Ooh. So let's just stay in that sticky spot where it's difficult behind us. And we can go back and forth there. There should be no pain. There might be some discomfort. All right, and let's bring that over and drop the strap. And we'll come forward now and just slap our toes down. Very good. And let's just lift one knee up. I'm lifting up my left knee, and I have my right knee under me. And I'm just going to stretch up and look up. And then I'm going to plant my hands around my left foot. And I'm going to lift my back knee up and then just stretch out my hip flexor. Very nice. All right. And now I'm going to put that knee down and stretch back and stretch out my calf muscle here. I had the unfortunate experience of doing 36 squats with a dumbbell on my chest, and I've done something to my hip flexor, so it's my own fault for being a maniac. Anyway, so I have to be quite careful. All right, there we go. And back again. We're just going back and forth, doing some initial stretching just to help us move through the day in our functional movements. Good. So let's bring that knee back, and we will do the other side. And here we'll stretch out, and you can lift the back, turn the toes under the back foot and lift that back knee up. And you could, you might find this too much, in which case just leave your knee on the ground. The point of this exercise is to help with your hip flexor at the front of your extended leg. And let's put the knee down, and we'll try the other way, just drawing our toes back and forward. And back one more time, and forward. And last time we'll come back and forward. Good. All right, now let's see if we can lift that back knee up, that back foot up rather, and let's see if we could. I'm putting my hand on the inside of my foot, and see if we can grasp that heel or the ankle and draw it forward. It's difficult, so you do you, and see if you can stretch out that front thigh a little. Good. All right, and you can let it down. Bring that knee back, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. I hate doing this, so So I don't do it often, so it means that it's not the best thing for me, but it is, I mean, it is very good for me, but I should do it more often. So here I'm just stretching out my back foot here, my back thigh. Good, and that you can let it down. And let's just go right into a plank. So we're doing a lot of the elements for plank, for a sun salutation here. We will do a couple of sun salutations in a moment, but we're just going to do all the elements. We're just in a plank formation, pressing out through our heels, pressing our hands down. And now we're going to press into our hands, bend our knees, and press back towards our downward dog, but we're on our tiptoes. And we're going to stay here in this kind of crouched position. And we're going to draw our belly towards our knees and towards our thighs. And then we're going to try and keep our belly moving towards our thighs. And while we are dropping our heels down and straightening our legs, and really coming up into a very nice downward dog. Now, some people say stick your tailbone in the air, but I'm going to suggest you do take your sit bones and you curl them under slightly. And that will help you straighten your legs and drop your heels to the floor. So let's just, and here we're going to turn our upper arms out. You can rotate your shoulders around and out a couple of times. And then really just, this helps you release your head. And once again, we're pressing back through our thighs and pressing down into our heels and our hands. Good. Now let's bend the right knee and stretch it up, pointing the toe. And then draw the knee in towards your nose and back out again. And in towards your elbow, opposite elbow, and then back again. And then in towards that out the same elbow and back again. And let's lower that heel down if you're up on your toes and lift the knee up in the air, stacking one hip over the other, trying to maintain the same position of the shoulders, so you're not twisting at the shoulders, you're twisting in your spine, but not at your shoulders. Good. And now you can lift that leg up and bring it down and come back into downward dog. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to lift that leg up and bend the knee, bring it in to the center, and then extend it back to the opposite elbow, and then extend it back and to the same elbow and extend it back. And now you're going to bend that knee, draw the one hip with the knee up in the air, one hip over the other, trying to maintain your shoulders, equal pressure on your hands. And we're pushing that thigh back of the standing leg. Good. All right, now let's bend that knee again, bring it forward, draw it down to the mat, so you're on your knee, and we'll come up and look up, and then we'll frame our front foot with our hands, draw the back foot forward and dangle, or into a forward fold here. And in yin, this is called dangle. In hatha, it's forward fold. And here you could, depending on where you are, you could have blocks here to keep you stable, or you can put your two first fingers around your toes and your thumb, and just bend your elbows and draw yourself towards your feet. And so here, you can have your knees bent here, of course. And or you can pedal your knees out slightly and open up your elbows and feel yourself descending here. Now let go of your toes, just let your hands fall, and then clasp your elbows, draw your arms behind your head, and we're going to just hinge up from your hips. If that's too much, you can, of course, you could put your hands on your hips, or you could roll up. So we're going to swing ourselves up with our head framed by our arms. We're coming up, and then we're opening our arms out, rotating our shoulders back 2 or 3 times, and then forward a couple of times, and then shaking our arms out and moving our feet, just finding our bodies again after those stretches. And we'll stand in Tadasana here and feel that we are really located a little bit differently. We're just breathing here. Good. Now we're just going to do a couple of sun salutations now that integrate all of those movements. Our body's quite prepared for this. And I'll just this up here. All right, here we go. So I'm going to just begin at the top of our mat, looking up, inhaling, exhaling, and then drawing our hands up in halfway lift, inhaling and exhaling. Our right leg is coming back and our knee is dropping and we're coming up. Inhaling and then exhaling. We're framing our front foot and coming back into plank. And now we're going to draw ourselves down in chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. And you can come up into a low cobra here or an upward dog, you decide. And then you can come down in back into a downward dog. And here you can bend your knees, wiggle your hips, find a comfortable space for your downward dog, a comfortable shape. And now let's lift the right leg up, bend that knee, bring it forward, drop the back knee, frame front foot, and come up, inhaling, and then draw the back leg forward, exhaling, and then up, inhaling, and open out. Very nice. All right, let's do that again on the other side. So inhaling up and exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, and exhaling. Inhaling, left leg back, and then up, inhaling, and framing the front foot back into our plank. Here we'll take a breath or two, just finding stability with the strength of our arms. And on the next exhalation, we're going to descend. And then we're going to inhale into upward dog or a cobra. And we're going to stay here for a moment. If we're in upward dog, we are feeling no pain in our lower back. Good. Now we're going to scissor back into the downward dog. Find our footing here, stretching out through our thighs, and feeling the opening in our shoulders as we rotate our upper arms out. Now let's lift the left leg up, pointing the toe, and then bring it forward into our drop knee, lifting up. And then exhaling, we'll bring our back foot forward into a forward fold. And then in your own time, take a few breaths here. And now we're going to inhale slowly all the way up. And look at our thumbs. And open out. Very nice. All right. Let's do that again, but let's start from chair to a variation of a sun salutation. We're going to start in chair, inhaling, and then forward fold. Exhaling, right leg back, keeping the knee up this time. Let's just press into the front foot, and I'm going to just come up into warrior one. Now my balance is not good, so I have my hands on my front thigh, but I can open it up once I've found my bearings. Good, now let's lower down and draw that front foot back into plow again, into plank again. Good, and let's come down, exhaling and inhaling up into upward dog or crow cobra, and then pressing back into downward dog. Breathing here into your back body. And now stretching that leg up again, pointing the toe, drawing it into your chest, bringing it forward. And let's go back into that warrior one. Very nice. And so let's just see if we can stabilize and lift our arms up. Opening out. And then putting our hands down, drawing that back foot forward and dangling. And then opening out and coming up in your own time. Good. All right, let's try the other side. So we'll start in chair again. Inhaling and then exhaling over your feet. A few breaths here. And let's take the opposite foot back and go right into warrior one. So we're bringing that foot back, not putting the knee down, and then lifting up into warrior one. So this is a good balancing motion, and we can lift our arms up. And then opening out, frame our front foot, draw that other leg back into plank, and lower down into our upward dog, inhaling, and then back into our downward dog. A few breaths here. And let's extend that foot out again, pointing the toe, bringing it in, framing the front foot with our hands. We're going to once again draw up into warrior one. Oops. It's demanding, but it's a good balance pose. And you can lift your arms up here. Good. Let's drop our arms down, framing the front foot, and draw that back foot forward into a forward fold and dangle here. Just breathing into our back body. And on the next inhalation, we're going to come all the way up. So we're going to exhale And then inhale.
All the way up, looking up at our thumbs and opening out. Very nice. All right. So let's just come down onto our mat, and we'll do a twist here. Let's take a strap with us and see how we do. Just stretch our feet out, our legs out in front of us. And before we do the twist, let's just do a dandasana and a couple of forward folds here. So we'll just put the strap around our toe mounds, and we're going to draw ourselves forward with a straight back for a moment. And then we're going to just extend ourselves over. You could hold onto your feet or your shins or the strap and draw yourself forward. Now let's roll up and put our hands behind us with our fingers facing away from us, and stretch up, pressing our chest forward into a back bend here. So we are doing a forward bend, a back bend, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Now we're going to just come up and we'll do our twist here. We'll do our spine moving in all directions. We'll lift our right foot up and draw it over and bend the other leg. We'll put our right hand behind us, pressing into the ground and lifting that arm up and turning towards that bent knee, and either holding on to it or using our arm to twist us up and around. And now let's come back, press into the ground, and turn up. Good. And let's come back around, stretch our feet out, shaking them up and down, and then lift the other knee up, cross it over your thigh, bend that knee, draw the foot towards your hip, and then lift the opposite arm up, pressing into the back and turning from the waist towards the side. And we'll inhale here. As we inhale, we'll lift up. And as we exhale, we'll turn slightly. And as we inhale, we'll lift up. And as we exhale, we'll turn a little bit further potentially. We're inhaling, lifting up, and we're turning. Inhaling and turning. Inhaling and turning. Good. All right, now let's turn around to the other side. We're pressing into our hands, give ourselves a little alternate stretch. And then we'll just extend our legs out and go onto our backs. And here we're going to just, you could take your strap with you and press one foot into the ground, stretch the other one up, and then you can lengthen your bottom foot out along the floor or leave it bent. And we're just going to clasp the strap near the foot and open it out to wherever it goes, and then just bring it back. And then we're going to clasp the strap in our hand and draw that foot towards you, and then open it out. And you're pressing out through both heels here. And then draw that foot in
And change the hand so that you are now the same hand as foot, and drawing it over to the side, looking at the opposite hand here. Good. And then lift up. And we'll try the other foot. We'll do exactly the same thing on the other side. Stretching, you can either leave that bottom leg bent or you can stretch it out. You can open out that leg to the side. Breathing here, stretching into both heels, and then bring it up. And now see if you can draw the foot closer, a bit closer towards your head, and then open it out and see how that feels. Once again, you might feel discomfort. There should be no pain. If there's pain, then just go back to an earlier position. You don't want to overstretch, but you do want to challenge yourself. And now let's lift that up. Change your hands, so we're now opposite hand to foot, and draw that leg over to the side, and you'll see where it goes. Looking at the opposite hand. Pressing out through both heels. And breathing. And bring that leg in again. Take the strap off. You can clasp your knees and put your hands on top of your knees and just rotate your knees around in circles, one way and then in the other. And this allows you to massage your back very nicely. Now let's draw our hands through our legs, clasp the outer edge of our feet. Feel as though we're walking on the ceiling, and we're doing this inverted malasana or squat. And if you feel like it, you could hold onto your big toes, and stretch one leg out, drawing the other leg back, the other knee towards the floor. And then you could do the same thing on the other side. Just back and forth. Playing like a little baby. All right. So let's bring those knees in once more, clasp them, and roll back and forth. And then put your knees on the ground and stretch your legs out into final relaxation. And here you'll imagine that you are stretching out beside a stream or a river, a lake, an ocean, whatever memory leaves you feeling safe and contained and open. You can just surrender to the moment, feeling your whole body letting go from your fingertips to the top of your head, from your toes to your calves and thighs, your pelvis and hips, your waist, your chest and your shoulders, your upper and lower arms, your hands and fingers, your neck. You can roll your head slightly from side to side and just let go. The skin on your scalp is letting go. The skin on your forehead is letting go. On your cheeks. Your lower jaw is falling open slightly. Your tongue might move into your lower jaw. And you're just breathing easily. Feeling your chest rise and fall on your own pace. And I'll leave you in silence for a few moments.
It's not impermanence per se, or even knowing we're going to die, that is the cause of our suffering, the Buddha taught. Rather, it's our resistance to the fundamental uncertainty of our situation. Our discomfort arises from all of our efforts to put ground under our feet, to realize our dream of constant okayness. When we resist change, it's called suffering. But when we can completely let go and not struggle against it, when we can embrace the groundlessness of our situation and relax into its dynamic quality, that's called awakening to our true nature, to our fundamental goodness. Another word for that is freedom. Freedom from struggling against the fundamental ambiguity of being human. And that's from Pema Chödrön's Living Beautifully with Uncertainty and Change. I've been reading that recently and really finding it very helpful. So in your own time, you can feel your energy moving back towards your fingers and toes. You can maybe stretch one arm and then the other, and then one leg and then the other. You can open yourself up by hugging yourself to yourself, feeling compassion for who you are, where you are, what you're up to at this moment in your life. And in your own time, you can roll onto your side and push yourself up to a seated position. And I'll thank you for joining me today. And I'll just put one hand on my chest, one hand on my, just 2 inches below my navel. And I will unite my heart with my power center, empowering me to live in kindness and compassion for myself and for others. The teacher in me and the student in me honors and salutes the teacher and student in you, and the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Deep bows to all of you. And I'll dedicate the merit of this practice to those who are suffering in war everywhere.